Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
Or good afternoon, isn't it?
It's debatable what it is.
It's 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock, and it's time for Doctor Who. For us to talk about Doctor Who.
Yes, it won't be time for Doctor Who for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. But tonight we have 2 stories, and here's one of them. And it's Doctor Who and the Space War, according to that book.
Otherwise known as Doctor Who Frontier in Space.
Doctor Who's got a frontier in space. And it says, the year is 2540 and 2 power... And I can't read it because I think a sweet got stuck to the back of it and I pulled it off and I can't read it. Oh, loom large in the galaxy, Earth and Draconia. After years of peace, their spaceships are now being mysteriously attacked and cargoes riffled.
Riffled? Rifled?
I thought they were shooting the cargo with rifles.
They've been stolen.
Right. Each suspects the other and full-scale war seems unavoidable. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to read out, because it will give it away otherwise.
Yes. Well,
but
the front cover might give it away a bit.
Well, the front cover says, the cover illustration of this book portrays the third Doctor Who, whose physical appearance was altered by the Time Lords when they banished him to the planet Earth in the 20th century. And let's just look at that, the changing face of Doctor Who. He doesn't look well, does he?
No.
I don't know whether he's meant to be the Ogron or the Draconian, really. Unless he's the spaceship.
Draconian.
The what?
The Draconian.
The Trick-Onion.
Yeah, that's how one of them pronounced it.
Yeah, one of the Draconians can't say the name of his own planet, can he?
Draconia.
You have violated Trigonian space. We really haven't, mate.
No.
Whatever you're saying. But yes, it's called Doctor Who and the Space War in the book, and it's Frontier in Space. Because they used to do the thing of changing the titles for the books if they thought they weren't exciting enough.
Which is why you get
Doctor Who and the Cave Monsters.
Cave Monsters and Doctor Who and the Doomsday Weapon.
That's true.
Yes. And coincidentally, they're all Malcolm Hulk.
Malcolm Hilk.
Malcolm Hilk stories.
Did they think his titles were dull?
I don't know.
But yeah, filming in and around the South Bank.
Yes.
In London's glittering.
Amongst.
Well, it's not West End,
Not
is
West
it?
End, no.
But
It's sort of,
it's National Theatre and what became the Museum of the Moving Image.
Yes.
That was around there as well, wasn't
It's not the National Theatre, it's the...
Isn't it?
No, it's not the National... Well, it is. The National Theatre is around there, but they film close to the Royal Festival Hall.
Okay. Right, okay. Fair enough. But you filmed there, haven't you?
I have, yes. We did a film many years ago.
You and Elaine
and
were dressed in sort of cloaks
and top hats.
You were sort of undertakers, weren't you?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure. I'm sure Nick had a perfectly good explanation for it.
No.
And it looked good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But of course we could claim all this,
We
can't
could,
we?
yes.
And frankly, unless we put some footage up or some photographs up, nobody's going to believe half the stuff. So I had to dig. And I found... It's you and Elaine.
Yes.
In cloaks. Round about the location. Now, where's that to?
That's. I think that's just under where it was filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a sort of because it's all a lot of the filming you'll see when you watch it is it's all concrete.
Yeah.
Because it had not been long built. I think it was about less than 10 years old.
Well, the thinking was that in like the 26th century, this would like be a listed building, wouldn't it? Because it would be an important bit of architecture from
a bit of an eyesore
from the late 20th century,
which is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it was all sort of we filmed in a lot of the stair areas, the stairs, and where a lot of the homeless people.
I was going to say it's a pretty difficult area to film in, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people about.
A lot of people about, yeah. We were lucky. We were disturbed once.
Because is that the day that you were late back?
Yes.
So I was waiting for you all to come back so I could film in Elaine's mum and dad's garden. Yeah, but yeah, you took your time doing that, didn't you?
Yes, Mr. Candice is a perfectionist.
Oh, quite right too.
Yes.
But, yeah. Anyway, back to Frontier in Space.
Yes.
Should we sort of give away plots? Because by the time we put this up, it doesn't really matter, does it? So the whole So,
if you've not seen it, there's a spoiler alert.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll say watch the story before.
Yes.
You watch us.
Yes.
But the idea of doing 2 linked six-parters
Yeah.
is an interesting idea. I don't think they quite dovetail together as well as you might hope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we have to point out, we said the other day about the order of filming of this.
Yes.
That it's Carnival of Monsters is sort of tacked on as the end of season 9's sort of block.
Mm-hmm.
Then Pat Troughton's got various commitments to all sorts of things. And then they film Frontier in Space first.
Yes.
Basically to allow Pat to be free to then film Three Doctors.
Yeah.
So Three Doctors is wedged in between Frontier in Space and Planet of the Daleks in production terms anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, makes it even harder to join them up, I'd have thought.
Yes.
People have criticised it for a lot. It's just a lot of capturing and escaping and capturing and escaping. And yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those stories that if you look at a certain scene, you don't necessarily know quite which episode it's from.
No.
But you do cover a bit of ground, don't you?
Yes.
Because you've got the stuff in the spaceships, then you go to Earth, then you go to the moon colony, then you've got more spaceship stuff, then you've got Draconia, and then you've got the planet of the Ogrons.
The Ogrons.
So you actually... It's a wide-ranging story.
It is. It covers a lot of ground. Yes.
And you again, as with like Curse of Peladon, you've got quite a few different species featuring in this. I mean, we should say about John Woodnut.
Yes. Who's the Draconian Emperor?
Yeah, doing his real sort of fruity voice stuff again. You know it's him the moment he opens his mouth.
Yeah. John Woodnut, who is Hibbert in
Hibbert.
I thought
it said Hibbert.
Hibbert. It just depends how you pronounce it.
That's the noise frogs make. Hibbert. That was a frog.
Really?
It could have been a chicken. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway. Yes. So he's in Spearhead from space.
Yes. But yeah, Barry of course says about the slightly less than successful wobbly duvet monster. We'll call it the duvet monster because
Ogron Eater.
That's the cleanest word we can use to describe it without getting terribly medical, is it?
Yes.
And then, of course, you've got the problem as well that Roger Delgado just disappears, unfortunately.
And it is unfortunately his last contribution to Doctor Who.
But even so, it does end on a fairly dramatic bit with sort of the Doctor sort of being injured.
Yeah. And having to ask the Time Lords for help again.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's a story I think with some sort of ups and downs in terms of drama. But I mean, I'm quite fond of it. It's not brilliant by any means, but I'll happily I would sit down and watch it. And again, it'll be more interesting to see what other people make of it.
Yeah, and I prefer the second half.
Well, let's get on to the second half, shall we?
The 12-part saga.
So we have Doctor Who and the Planet of the Daleks. There we are. After pursuing the Daleks through space, Doctor Who lands on the planet of Spyridon in the midst of a tropical jungle. Not a topical jungle.
Not a topical jungle.
A tropical jungle. And finds more than Daleks. Vicious plants, I nearly said viscous, spitting deadly poison, invisible Spyridons attacking from all sides and in hiding a vast army waits for the moment to mobilise and conquer. And the cover illustration still shows the third Doctor Who. That's nice. And Bernard Horsfall.
Yeah. A Dalek.
But I quite like the red eye stalk the Daleks got. Look, there you go. He's all red. In fact, it's a very red cover, actually. Looking at it, there's lots of red in that.
Yes.
Good. Anyway, so what do you like about Planet of the Daleks?
Well, I have very fond memories of it because it's amongst one of the first John Pertwee stories I saw properly because it was repeated in 1992. 93.
Yeah. For the 30th anniversary.
The 30th anniversary. Yeah. Oh, that would make sense. And I remember really enjoying it.
Yes.
It's got a sort of adventure feel about it.
I mean, in some ways, it is almost a rewrite of the Daleks.
Yeah.
That you've got things like sort of people hiding inside Daleks, and you've got the Thals, and you've got, what was it?
They've got more clothes on in this one.
I suppose so. But yeah, you've got what was it? John's thing about speech about being brave.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, for us old timers, seeing episode 3 in colours is still a bit of a novelty, isn't it?
Yeah. Because for many years it existed only in black and white.
Only as a black and white print, and that's how it was shown on BBC One. It's one of the no, it's BBC One.
BBC One, was it?
Yeah,
Alright, okay.
making it one of the last black and white things to be shown on BBC One.
Okay.
I can't think of much sort of after it that's ever been shown. Yeah, BBC Two shows black and white things like the sort of Black and White Dad's Armies, but because there's the story that when they were trying to sell this, the stories sort of to America and things like that, I think BBC Enterprises, as they were rather cross that episode 3 was only in black and white, to which the answer was, well, it's your fault in the first place.
Yeah.
Because was it episodes 4, 5 and 6 I think came back from Dubai at one point.
All right.
But not episode 3 as well, so they were like duplicate copies.
What is it about episode 3?
Yeah, but it was very hard to find. But yeah, I remember I remember reading the book at school, because if you look at this book, it is very well thumbed.
Yes.
And some pages are actually
all a bit loose.
Loose in the middle. So this is my copy from. Well, when is it from? 1976. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've read that quite a few times, I think. And I remember being at middle school reading it in the big hall. I think one day. I don't know what we were doing, but I always had a Doctor Who book in my bag, and I can remember. I know I had that in my bag once, and I know I had Face of Evil in my bag as well once. And
all right.
I think I had Ark in Space. So yeah, occasionally you'd have to read a book at school, so I always made sure I had a Doctor Who book on me just in case. But yeah, it's. I mean, it's fairly simple in its sort of plotting, I guess. There's nothing terribly clever, but it is quite ambitious. The whole idea of the army of Daleks, which is done just as a load of models. Yes. In some ways, you can't. I was saying earlier about sort of directors, and in some ways you can't really tell this is a David Maloney story. It's one of the few ones in which he's sort of.
Well, apart from the fact that Burton Horsfall's in it.
Yeah. But in terms of sort of signature style, because later on, when he's in the sort of Hinchcliffe era, he sort of, he's quite good at imagery with like gas masks and things like that. Here we sort of catch him between his sort of Troughton period and his Hinchcliffe period. So, he's been off doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But things like the sort of ascent up the chimney.
Yeah.
Are pretty ambitious things to attempt. And he does pull it off, I think.
He does. Yes.
Again, you sort of imagine how some people might have done that, and it wouldn't have looked quite as good. I don't think.
No. And I mean, it always amuses me that the cliffhanger for the end of episode 1 is a Dalek appears.
Yeah.
Which is the standard cliffhanger for a Terry Nation story.
Yeah.
Even though it's got Daleks in the title.
Well, again, the way it's shot, it's as though they start spraying it, which is fair enough. And in some ways, the cliffhanger is the Dalek. The cliffhanger is it's an invisible Dalek. Yeah. But it's only until they get the last bit of paint on it that Pertwee goes, "It's a Dalek." You think by the time they'd sort of done a third of it, he might have cottoned on to what it was.
Yeah. He's just enjoying himself spraying.
But yeah, I just wonder whether there's any antics in the studio with people spraying each other.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah. But the jungle's a bit hit and miss, I think, in the studio. Inevitably, a jungle always looks better if you try and do it on film, like in Planet of Evil.
Which you'll see in a few days' time.
But yeah, taken together, I think they're two sort of quite solid stories.
Yeah. And Jo's very good in this one.
Yeah.
And the fact that she goes
Jo
off
carries a lot of the first episode.
Is proactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as Pertwee's on his IKEA furniture, isn't he?
That's one thing. That's one thing that's a little bit that you think, Because there's suddenly a bed in the console
Yeah.
room. There's never been a bed in the console room before.
Yeah.
But the occasion demands it, so there it is.
And it's also that Terry Nation thing about sort of jeopardy in the TARDIS. And yes, you could question how come, the TARDIS hasn't got an infinite air supply.
Yes.
Given that it travels through space.
Yes. Would be handy.
So it is quite a sort of 60s... Well, I'd say it's quite a 50s view of the TARDIS, isn't it? Because it's never been a problem before.
No.
Travelling through space and what have you. So yeah.
But that doesn't make it a poorer story.
No, it's very much an adventure story.
And it's got a really good cast. You've got Bernard Horsfall.
Yeah.
You've got Tim Priest, who was probably quite well known. Or is Reginald Perry just after this?
I think Reggie's a little bit after this.
Yeah, he plays Reginald Perry's son-in-law.
Again, I need to look.
And, all sorts of different... You just got the reliable people like Roy Skelton doing voices.
Yeah, Michael Wisher.
And you get the 60s Dalek in it.
Yeah.
With the big lamps. That you'll notice that one of the Daleks in it has got bigger lamps on its head than anybody else, and that's because they borrowed it.
That's one of the movie
Daleks
that I think was Terry Nation's own. I think because there's a photograph of Terry with 3 Daleks. Yeah, I think it is house or something. So,
and there's some stuff in it. I mean, all this stuff about the virus. We are trapped in this room. We can never leave, and you're like, oh, that's actually quite nasty.
Oh, poor Dalek. You're feeling sorry for a Dalek.
Almost.
Yeah. Okay. But there you go. There's two solid Pertwees, I think.
Yes, and now we're on the slide towards season 11. One more story for season 10.
Indeed. Yes,
and then on to season 11, which is John Pertwee's last.
We will flip into season 11 quite soon.
Yes, tomorrow. Okay. No, Tuesday.
Yes, it will be tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Yes. Okay.
Today.
Yes. We'll say good night then.
Yes.
And see you again soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.